start the Haggadah, Olach Ma'anya. It's Yedua, the question why it says in Aramis. The simple Terutzim everybody knows. We magdim a piece of Maral in Pekei Ovis, Pekei Mishnah Chov Beis. The Mishnah says, Lefum Tzara Agra. The Maral asks, why is this Mishnah written in Aramis? It could be written in Lashon Kodesh. The Maral says, Devarim Neiroim Ad Miyot. Based on other places that it says in Maral, that Malachim will not exist L'olam Haba. Because Malachim don't get Schorr. If you don't get Schorr, you won't be around in L'olam Haba. Why won't they get Schorr? Because they have no Yigiyah. Because they don't have no esteres. They have no problems. Nothing is ma'akiv them. They do Ratzon Hashem without any Avodah. And therefore they don't get Schorr. You know, the Gemara tells us in Shabbos, when Moshe Rabbeinu went to Shamayim, Moshe Rabbeinu overcame the Malachim, Kolum the Mitzrayim Yiradatem. The whole inyanim of Avodas Hashem that there is in this world, which comes with Yigiyah, they don't have. It's like the Heilige Maral, if the Malachim would know that Lefum Tzara Agra, that we get Schorr because we have Tzar, they would be Mekatrig on us, they would be Mekana us, they wouldn't be Soivel the Lefum Tzara Agra. So it had to be hidden in the Mishnah. The Lefum Tzara Agra had to be written in Aramis. Adova Neure from a Maral. Meaning that the next time we complain that life is hard and the Nisyonis are hard, so Mechappen that the Malachim, exactly that's the Mekana us. 4 hour hardships, 4 hour Nisyonis, 4 it comes hard to us. That's the reason the Malachim are Mekatrik and are Mekana us, and that's hidden from the Malachim. It's a Maral to look up inside to see the Nekuda and the flaw that the Maral is Megala. Person starts the Haggadah. In the beginning of the Haggadah, the Malachim are still here. We know that it is a piece of Zerah Kodesh printed in the beginning of the Haggadah, Pekuda Da, that the Rebbeinu Shalom comes down with the whole Pamalya Shaloi, and they come down and watch the way Yidden have the Seder. When we start the Seder Olach Ma'anya, we have Malachim with us. And the Malachim will hear that we say Olach Ma'anya, the Achala Avasana, Va'ara the Mitzrayim. This is the Lechem Oini. What does it mean, Lechem Oini? So Semeth writes in Parshas Vayechi, when he talks about the 2 kind of Lechems that there are. He talks about Yehuda and Yosef. Middle of a piece, he says 3-4 words, Dvarim Neiroim, Lechem Oini, Lechem, that we were rewarded for this Lechem because of our Oini. That means Lechem Oini. Lechem that we got through the Oini. Through the Oini in Mitzrayim. We got such a Neure de Kizach, it's called Matzah. That's called Lechem Oini. Halach Ma'anya de Achala B'Sana Ba'ara de Mitzrayim. We're talking about the Lechem that they ate in Mitzrayim, the way Mefarshim learn Adarab, but it was part of the Oini. The way we're learning now that it's the Lechem that they got through the Anya that they had in Mitzrayim. Ha'ashata Avdi Daika in Aramis. Hashata Avdi, we're now Avodim, we have suffering Golus. Hashata Avdi, Take in Aramis Hashata Avdi. L'shana haba b'nei chayrin. Because of the Avdi will be L'shana haba b'nei chayrin. Because we suffer in Golus, and because of the Golus we'll be able to be. And that all has to be hidden in Aramis, because the Malachim can't be sovel it. Why Daika, the first piece, has to be written in Aramis more than the rest? The Imrei Noyam writes why we say Tzeschem L'Sholem, Leil Shabbos Kedesh, after we say Shalom Aleichem. There are others that don't say Tzeschem L'Sholem. Why do we say Tzeschem L'Sholem? Zog the Imrei Noyam, because Malachim can't be Ba'awah Suda. Malachim have no Shaykhs to our Suda Shabbos. So the Shabbos is L'mayla Mimadreges HaMalachim. A Yid Shabbos, by the Suda, elevates himself. So we say to the Malachim, Tzeschem L'Sholem, this is not for you. We're going now above you. Ashtega, like it says by Avrohom Avinu, that the Malachim came, and who oimed aleim, he was higher than the Malachim. He elevated himself above the Malachim. And that's the way a Yid is Shabbos. A Yid starts off the Seder. He starts off the Seder, Kadesh Urechatz. Everybody knows the question that Kadesh Urechatz is in the wrong order. There's many terutzim that are said on this question. But if we are medayik and davening every day in Birchas Krishma, when we talk about the Malachim, we talk about the Malachim that they come, that they do their Avodah, and they mekadosh themselves to Avodah bekedusha ubetahara. First kedusha and then tahara. So we see that the Seder by the Malachim is take kadosh urechatz. So a Yid leila Seder starts off the Seder on the darg of a Malach. Kadosh urechatz bekedusha ubetahara ze be'amalach. That's when he is by halach ma'anya. When he goes past halach ma'anya, the Malachim aren't there anymore. He can start talking in Lashon Kodesh already, because it's nicht wie Shabbos, and it's greater than Shabbos. And the Nekudah of a Yid, till where he elevates himself, when he comes already into the Avodah, after halach ma'anya, he's already past the Malachim, and he's higher than the Malachim, and he doesn't have to worry about the Malachim anymore, because the Malachim aren't there anymore, because they're only there for the halach ma'anya taka. And when we go further, we're above the Nekudah of the Malachim. Abba Benel explains the question of the Shaila of Kol halayla isanu oichlen chometz u'matzah halayla hazeh kulay matzah. That the question is that in a korban toida there is matzah and chometz, 30 chalois matzah and 10 chalois chometz, and halayla hazeh kulay matzah. Meaning that he explains that the inyan of Leila Seder, the Pesach Matzah, has a connotation of a toida to it, and Memela it's a shlomim, and it's different than a shlomim. It's nechol be'etzem liyoim v'layla. It's not nechol be'yoim because you have to wait till layla, but be'etzem it has dinei toida to it. And therefore the question is, why is it different than a toida? Why is a toida have chometz and this doesn't have chometz? There are many terutzim. Maybe we could a little bit explain an havana chadasha in what the reason there's no chometz on Leila Seder, and even though it's a toida, there's only matzah and not chometz u'matzah. To understand why there is taka chometz in a toida. A person brings a toida after he sees the dalet tzrich and lahedes. If they're mechuyev toida, they're not mechuyev toida. Or bal kol panim, we bring a toida when it becomes an inyan of kara that the Eibishter did me a neurodike chesed, and the Eibishter saved me, and I have to be makir that, and I bring a korban toida. We realize the godless Hashem when the Eibishter gives us, saves us. We know the Gemara tells us in Mesechtes Berachos that Ashrei David HaMelech skipped the is nun, because it says nun is nafla, an inyan of nefila. Afal became Chazer David v'samchei beruach hakodesh. David HaMelech came and was samchei beruach hakodesh. It says Soimech Hashem l'chol haneflim. The nun of nefila is in the samach. A very hard Gemara to understand. Mamanov Shach, what does the Gemara mean? He didn't write a nun, it's nefila. What does it have that it's afterwards? The nekuda that one has to bring out is a very murdik nekuda in Avodas Hashem. We are maminim b'nei maminim, that everything the Rebbeinu Shalom does in the world, the Rebbeinu Shalom does himself, and the Rebbeinu Shalom runs the world completely. We are maminim that everything happens through the Rebbeinu Shalom. But it's hard for us in our stage of Golus to be able to be makir that the Golus and Geula are all the same. That just like when it comes Geula, everybody will be makir the Teva of Geula. To be makir the Golus and realize that the Golus is the same Teva as the Geula, and realize that it's all the Teva 100% as if the Geula, that a person doesn't see. He doesn't see. He could see afterwards, hindsight, after the Geula, he could see how the Golus brought about the Geula, depending on how far his Emunah and his Behirus of Emunah goes. David HaMelech didn't write a nun because a person can't be Mishabeach b'shas nefila. To be Mishabeach b'shas nefila, one can't be Mishabeach b'shas nefila. He can be Mishabeach on the nefila after the smicha. After Soimech Hashem, he could say, L'chol ha'neiflim. There is a mokim to understand the nefila after the smicha. Meaning, the order is be'etzem, that the nefila is a smicha, but he doesn't realize that the nefila is a smicha. After he sees the smicha, he realizes that the nefila came for a reason, and he realizes the reason why the nefila came. It says in Svarim, I don't remember where, that nes is be'etzem a nun and a samach. It's nefila and smicha, meaning that truthfully the nefila is the same nes like the smicha, but you don't see it and you don't realize it, not b'shas nefila, and even after the smicha you don't realize the hakara berura that the nefila was a smicha. That is the nekuda of a toida. A toida one brings after one sees a nes. After one sees a nes, he brings the carbon toida on the chelik hanes. He also has to bring chometz. You know what he brings chometz for? On the chelik that wasn't a nes, on the chelik of the tzara that he went through, and his makir in there was also Rebbeinu Shalom. But he can't bring it that it should be matzah because he doesn't have that akara, the same akara in the tzara as he has in the nes. Therefore, he could only bring chometz, meaning that it was nechmatz. It went into the bria, it went into tzara. I realized that the Rebbeinu Shalom was there, but it's not the clarity in Havana. Masha'en kein leil ha-seder. Leil ha-seder, the Sfas Emes teaches us that achilas amorer on leil ha-seder is to be mishabeach on the morer as much as a mishabeach on the geula. When one says the Haggadah, the Sfas Emes points out in one of the Mamorim in Parshas in Shabbos Haggadah that more of the Haggadah spends time on the Golus than on the Geula. Why? Why do we talk about the Golus? Second question that he talks about. Why is Leila Seder called Seder? What does the word Seder connotate? And the Sfas Emes says that we say Shvach on the Golus Leila Seder. We are able to elevate ourselves and say Haggadah and say that the Seder of Golus we realize was with a Seder and it was just like the Geula. The Maral says Seder that one can say that the Eibishter doesn't make Nisim. The Maral says in the Agdama to Gvuras Hashem that there is a Seder to nest to. And the Chidusharim said that that's why it's called Leila Seder. The Sfas Emes says that not only are we saying that the Geula is with a Seder and Nisim is with a Seder and it's not a Yitzia from Seder. We're even being makir on the Golus itself that it's a Seder. That the Golus is with the same Seder as the Geula. And that's the akara that a Yid is makir on Leila Seder. That he could be mishabeach on the Morer. He could say it on the Morer Shvach just like he could say on the Geula. And he could say on in the Sipur Yitzias Mitzrayim, the Golus and the Geula in one. That is Kulai Matzah. We elevate ourselves above a Taida, above the akara of a Taida. In a Taida, the akara of the tzara is only in a pchina of chametz. It's not with the clarity of matzah. It's a taruvos of ra and teiv. It has in it a nekuda of not being clear in the tzara. One time there is, in Leila Seder, Yid elevates himself. And he has such a akara in Behirus and Emunah, and such an akara in Yitzias Mitzrayim, that he's able to eat Mara and Matzah, and he's able to make kairech from the Mara and Matzah. He's able to put them together and say that there's no difference between one and the other. They're both one tachlis, they're both one. In Yeshua's Yankiv it says that the reason why we paskin mitzvahs aim Hillel holds, or those who hold, that mitzvahs aim avatlin zu zu, is because they all have the same siba. They're all one. Meaning that two separate mitzvahs, the Yeshua's Yankiv and others hold that maybe you won't say mitzvahs aim avatlin zu zu. only when the mitzvahs have the same mechuven. So you could learn a pashat mechuven. They're all zeichel yitzias Mitzrayim. Maybe in avodah we could elevate that kairech could only be kairech only when you're makir. Only when you're makir that the tzara and the gula are one. Then the tachlis of kairech, the tachlis of marer, and the tachlis of matzah aren't different. Then mitzvahs eimavatles zu. Then the mitzvahs have one objective, the same objective of emunah, the same objective as being makir. The Rebbeinu Shem runs the world with no other akara differently of the marer and the matzah. That's the mitzvahs eimavatles zu that lies in the kairech. The svasemes be'etzem, it's mevuyer in Svarim b'shem the Zohar HaKadosh that the matzah is from the Lashon Matzah u'meriva. From the Lashon in Aramis that a machlekes is called matzusa, an inyan of pirud, an inyan of riv, an inyan of machlekes. Matzah refers to an inyan of matzusa and riv. Maybe we can understand a poshet pshat how matzah lies in it and a kuda of riv. Which riv are we talking about? What riv lies in matzah? The Gemara says in Masechtes Berachos, La'olam yargiz adam yetzer tov al yetzer ra. Im nitzchay mutev, im lav yasik b'teira, im lav yikra kriyashma, im lav yaskeloi yom amisa. Maybe we can go through the avodah of Leila Seder and see that that is the avodah of Leila Seder. We just said over that matzah is from the lashon of ereges, the lashon of milchama. La'olam yargiz adam yetzer tov al yetzer hara. The Balatanya in Lekutei Torah mentions a matzah the la'olam yargiz adam yetzer tov al yetzer hara. So the inyan of matzah is to go out with mulchama against the Yetzer Hara. Rabbi Tzadok HaKohen writes in Machshavas Charutz that there aren't three eitzes in the Gemara. We're raggled to hear the three eitzes: Torah, Krishma, and Zichron Yom HaMisa. There's not three eitzes in the Gemara. There's four things in the Gemara. The eitzah is being constant battle with the Yetzer Hara. Thus is the eitzah. Have a sinner to the Yetzer Hara. Have a reges on the Yetzer Hara. Thus is the eitzah for a Yid. If that chas v'shalom slips, then comes Torah, Krishma, and Yom HaMaves. Matzah is la'olam yargiz adam yetzer tov al yetzer hara. Thus is matzah. Matzah also has in it the nekuda of Torah. The Pasuk says in Tehillim, Torascha b'soich meyoi. The Melech says the Torah is b'soich meyoi. I heard from the Rabbi that leif simchas chusei yadna aleinu. What does it mean, Torascha b'soich meyoi? When is Torascha b'soich meyoi? And he said that that is the matzah. Matzah is merames on Torah also. It says in Svarim, Kama v'kama remozim, that matzah is merames on Torah. And that is the Torascha b'soich meyoi that there is in the Achilas HaMatzah. We eat for matzah two kezesim. There are many reasons for the two kezesim. Those who know halacha know that it's very hard to explain the two kezesim. It is above our hasaga exactly why we need two kezesim. One can say for the moitzi and for the matzah, and when he tries to explain why the moitzi needs a kezayis, he runs into a lot of trouble why he has to eat a kezayis daika, and what is the nekuda of that kezayis. The Aruch HaShulchan says in many places, in a few places for sure, that in everything that Chazal were mesaken, there lies a lot of hidden reasons besides the goli de ketam. So barak achama that the two kezeisim of matzah have a hidden reason to it, because al pi pashtus they don't have any kavana whatsoever why we should need two kezeisim. Avada, there's a long Shulchan Aruch Harav that tries to explain it, and the Magen Avrohom and the Mishnah Berurah. I'm not saying that one can't explain it. I'm saying that after everything is said and done, it's a little bit problematic why you have to eat a kezayis for the Matzah, which we don't have to ever eat a kezayis right away. And what is the nekuda that it can be both? A lot of problems. So it's ken zayin selik noch a nekuda, because there's taka two kezayis matzah. One kezayis matzah is the kezayis of matzah, of the reiges of la'olam yargiz adam. There's a kezayis matzah that's already a different kezayis matzah, a kezayis matzah of imlav yasik b'teira. After the kezayis matzah of yasik b'teira comes morer. Morer, as it says in Arizal, is begematria moves. What does it mean, morer is begematria moves? There are pshatim, a lot of pshatim in it. Will be matzia a new pshat. It says in Shuvas Harashba, goes on Kriya Shema. Kriya Shema is Misa. Kriya Shema is Mesiras Nefesh for the Rebbeinu Shalom. Kriya Shema means Mekabel on himself, Nekuda of Misa. That's why Morar is Merames on Kriya Shema. Morar is Merames on Mesiras Nefesh, and Morar is Merames on the Nekuda of Imlav Yikra Kriya Shema. Hillel Ayakairach Pesach Matzah Umorar Zercha Lemikdash Kehillel. There's two gerses in the Lashon. We have a gerse Pesach Matzah Amara Machlekes Erishenim. The Rambam says Hillel was only Kairach Matzah Amara. Most Haggadahs we say Hillel Ayakairach Pesach Matzah Umara. Re'ei Davar Pela. We said Morar is begematria moves. Pesach Matzah is begematria zikaron. Pesach Matzah Morar is zikaron moves. The third eitzah of Yaske Leyom Amisa. The avodah of Leila Seder is to go out of shibud of Yetzirah. That's the true avodah. Chometz is merames on the Yetzirah. The avodah of Leila Seder is to go out of shibud to Yetzirah. Every mitzvah is an eitzah. As it says in Zerah Kodesh, the Taryag Iten, the Taryag eitzahs that the Eibishter gave. Eitzahs for what? Eitzahs to overcome the Yetzirah. The Gemara teaches us the three basic eitzahs that there are, and if that's the avodah of Leila Seder, to go out of our shibud to the chometz, which is meramis on the Yetzirah, as it says in Shuvas Haradvaz, that's why chometz is also b'mashu. We realize that the Eibishter gave us in Leila Seder three eitzahs, how to overcome and how to overcome our shibud, to the Yetzirah. We'll go a little bit further to another nekuda and try to bring out a little bit more the avodas halayla. We say a pasuk in Yecheskel, which Rashi brings in the Kriya of Parshas HaChodesh, Parshas Bay. The Rebbeinu Shalom says, "Ve'eva ve'erech, ve'eva alayich ve'erech mispeiseses b'damayich, ve'erech mispeiseses b'damayich chayi, b'damayich chayi." What is this b'damayich chayi, b'damayich chayi? The topple b'damayich. What does it mean b'damayich chayi, b'damayich chayi? And Chazal teach us it means dam Pesach and dam Mila. Two mitzvahs asay that are different than all the mitzvahs asay. There's no other mitzvah asay that has chorus. The Mishnah says in the beginning of Masechtes Krisos, Shloshim v'sheish Krisos b'teira, 34 alavin, Pesach and Mila, two mitzvahs asay sheyesh ben chorus. You don't bring a chatas other than the other 34. What is the nekuda of Pesach and Mila yuchid? What is the nekuda? The Sfasemis points out a davar nifla about the krisus. The Sfasemis says on a posik, Chai yoiducha. The posik says, Chai yoiducha. It's like the Heilige Sfasemis, a person has two chayim. A person has in himself two nekudas of chayim. Chai yoiducha. What are the two nekudas of chayim that a person has? A person has two brisas, two connections to the Heilige Bashefer. A bris is a connection. A bris means I make a connection to a degree that I'm connected, kaviyachol, half and half. a mordike connection to the Eibishter. The Eibishter gave us a koyach of bris al-lashain. In the dibur of a person, there's a krisis bris with the Rebbeinu Shalom, that our bris, that our lashain is mechuber to the Rebbeinu Shalom, and there's a bris mila, two nekudos that there is, two brisos that there is. So Samus points out that the roiv krisos that it says in the Mishnah are either on bias asuris or on machalas asuris or on dibur. Chai yoiducha, sagt es Samus. We have 18 and 18. 18 and 18 on 36. That's the shloishim v'sheish krisos b'teira. The shloishim v'sheish krisos b'teira that are connected the chai, connected the two chiyusun that a yid has. A yid has chiyus of Torah, chiyus of dibur, which is Torah, the koyach ha-dibur of a yid, which is the nefesh chaya ruach mamalala, and a yid has a koyach ha-chiyus of bris milah. Vayamaru es chayeyem, says in Svasemes in Pasha Shmois, the Mitzrayim were Vayamaru es chayeyhem loshen rabim. Both chayim they were Vayamaru. Side the koyach hadibur and side the koyach of bris milah. Side the koyach hadibur, as it says in Zohar HaKadosh, in Mitzrayim the dibur was in Golos, and side the koyach of bris milah, as it says in Chazal, heferu bris milah, whatever it means, even though it doesn't mean exactly the pshutai shel dvarim, but Chazal tell us on the pasuk asher lo yada es Yosef, it means the nekuda of Yosef HaTzadik, the nekuda of bris milah, vayamaru es chayayim. And when we came out of Mitzrayim, the Rebbeinu Shalom gave us two mitzvahs, Pesach and Milah. Pesach, as you do from Zohar HaKadosh, from Arizal, that Pesach is the tziruf of two words, Pesach and bris milah. The Eibishter gave us back our two chayim. B'damayich chayi, b'damayich chayi. Let us be marchiv a little bit more. The Heilige Chassam Sofer writes in Parshas Tazria, when he talks about the mitzvah of milah, he writes in the middle of a shtickle, ki yudua, that in the mitzvah of milah there's a nekuda of dam, as we just learned, dam Pesach and dam milah. There's the inyan of atofas, dam bris. There's a nekuda of dam in bris milah. And so too there's a nekuda of dam in Korban Pesach. Nekuda, two dams. In middle of a piece, the Chassam Sofer writes that dam is bigematria kel echad. Seeing this Chassam Sofer, the Rebbeinu Shalom opened my eyes to a matana, not for me, not only to be a tzina, to be mashpia l'rabim. And there's nothing anoyerdik in the kuda but. In Pasuk it says, in Parshas Kisisa, lo yishtachvu le'el acher. There's a love in the Torah, lo yishtachvu le'el achar. We know el achar is b'gematria Amalek, and we have to change that el achar to el echad, to become mimamin in the Rebbeinu Shalom, that the Rebbeinu Shalom is a kel echad. Like we heard from the Chassam Sofer that it says that dam is b'gematria kel echad. There's another gematria of dam. The pasuk says, mi yitein tor mitomei loy echad. The Heilige Slonime in Divrei Shmuel says a word, a yisoidistic word in Avdus Hashem. A person wants to go from Tuma to Tara. He wants to make an about face in his life. Mi yiten tor mitomei. So if we will ask professionals or those who are here to tell us how to make changes in your life, go very slow. Don't go fast. Don't worry if you fall 20 times. Don't make such a strong Kabbalah. Go slowly. The Slonim Mezaktons, if you want to make a change, you have to say a one-time no, that you never have to say no again. Loi echad, one no. Meaning a complete achlata, never again will I touch it, never again will I do it. Then you could make Torah mitame. A shvacha achlata will never overcome. Only a loy echad, one no. Upon him, we learned there's a nekuda of sur meira, which is loy echad. There's a nekuda of asay toiv, which is kel echad. There's a nekuda of going away from the Ra, and there's a nekuda of going, being mekabel the Toiv. Pesach and Mila, Dam Pesach and Dam Mila. B'damaye chayi, b'damaye chayi. There's two dams, there's two Mesiras Nefeshim that we need to have. One Mesiras Nefesh of a Yid is, the Mesiras Nefesh of Lo Yechad Dam Mila. One Mesiras Nefesh is the koyach of being mekabel al malchus shamayim. Mishchu yedechem avodah zara, k'chu lachem tzayin shel mitzvah, being mekabel al malchus shamayim, the asay toiv, that's the Pesach, that's the Kel Echad. Those are the two damim. Chad Gadya, the Zavin Abba Bitrei Zuzei. Gadya is Bigematria Chai. Chad Gadya. There are two Chayim that a Yid has. One Chayim is Dam Pesach, Dam Mila. One Chayim is Dam Pesach. Chai Yoiducha. Chad Gadya. The Zavin Abba Bitrei Zuzi. Taich Rabbi Eiger. Hafledike Taich. There are two moves that a person has to give. Zuzeh is a move. One move you have to make is Sur Meirah. The other move is to jump to Rasei Toiv. A Gedi is a koifetz. Gedi is a kofatz mirosh Hagag. A Mishnah in Perek Beis de Baba Kama. A Gedi is the koich of Kfitza. A Yid has Chad Gadya. A Yid has two koiches to jump. Two koiches to make a jump. Pesach is from the lotion of jumping. A Yid could jump away from the Ra, a jump that will never touch the Ra again. He'll never come in contact with the Ra again. A loy echad, a firm loy, a loy that will never move, a loy that will never change. And a keil echad, a kabbalah somach shamayim, a feste kabbalah shamayim, a mesiras nefesh tike dam, a mesiras nefesh tike zuz meira, and a mesiras nefesh tike dam. Das ist der Zaven Abba Bitrei Zuzi. Der Zaven Abba, the Eibishter Boras. What does it mean, the Eibishter Boras? It says in Divrei Shmuel, Parshas B'Shalach, on the Pasuk, Zeh Keli Ve'anveyu. Zok the Divrei Shmuel, Zeh Keli. It's your God. What did you pay for it? How's it yours? What made it yours? With what is it yours? What did you give him for it? The same thing sagt Rabbi Asher Kalina, Rabbi Asher Stolana, in Beisaren. Mo Hashem Elekecha Ashoyel Mi'imach. Pachad van a word, Es chabt a zitte to say over such a word. Mo, you know what the Eibishter asks you? Hashem Elekecha? Shoyel Mi'imach. Where, what, when, with what is it Elekecha? That's what the Eibishter is, Shoyel Mi'imach. The Eibishter asks you, with what is it Elekecha? With what is it you got? With what did you pay for it? What did you give for it? You know what we give for it? Dam. Dam we give for it. Mesiras Nefesh, mit dem. Chad Gadya, the Zavin Abba, Avinu Shebeshamayim, Boros with that Gadya, with that Chayim of the Dam, the Zavin Abba, Bitrei Zuzi, with that move that we made with Mesiras Nefesh, mit Moirdiki Mesiras Nefesh, nothing comes easy to go away from Ra, to be able to be Mekadosh yourself, and be Koine Bris Milah. The world is a world that's Metamed the Bris Milah. The world is a world of a Feiru Bris Milah. The American street is anti-Kedusha. A person to be able to be Mekadosh himself is Dam. He has to give, blood has to go from him. Mesiras Nefesh has to go from him. Thus is the Trei Zuzi, the Zavin Abba. We get bought to the Rebbeinu Shalom. Kavayachol, you could say afterwards, Keli. Setake dein Gott. Setake dein Gott. In the Seder Haggadah, we pour out 16 times. We pour out from the kais 10 by the 10 Makkos, 3 times by the Tzach Adash Ba'achav, and 3 times by Dom Eish and Simnois Osham. It says in Darkei Moshe, brought in Magen Avrohom, that it says in Arizal that the Cherev of the Rebbeinu Shalom is Yud Vav. There's a Shem that comes out of the Pasuk, Ki Malachav Yitzave Lach. The last four letters, the four letters at the end of the four words, Ki is a Yud, Malachav is a Vav, that's Yud Vav. Yitzave Lach, Hach. Yud Vav Hach. With that, Kaviyachal, the Eibishter is the Cherev that the Eibishter hits the Sinai Yisrael with. As er steht in Darkei Moshe, as er steht in Magen Avrohom, the Makar is an Arizal. And that's the reason why we spill out of the wine 16 times, is an Nekuda of these 16 of this Cherev Shel HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Avada, we have no shayches to understand these nekudas. We have no shayches to understand these nekudas. But we know that it says in Pasuk, Cherev Pifiyos Biyadam. It says in Pasuk, we have a Cherev that has Pifiyos, that it's sharped on two sides. The Cherev is not sharped on one side. The Cherev is Pifiyos Biyadam. The Cherev has two pairs. And it says in Rab Tzadik HaKohen, and it's also mentioned in Sfas Emes, that the Cherev Pifiyos, the two Cheraves, are the Bris HaLashain and the Bris Amor. Those are the two Cherevs that a person has. That's the Pifiyos, two pairs that we have that Cherev, that the Cherev has two sides. So there's really every tipa that we take out of the wine is really a double tipa. There's two times Yud Vav. 16 for one Cherev and 16 for the other Cherev. Because we have two Cherevs. We have one Cherev that comes from the Mesiras Nefesh for Sur Meira, to be Mechala Dera, and one Cherev, the Koyach of Asay Tov. Esther Amalka went in on the first day Pesach, and when she saw that the Shechina was nostalgic, she said, Keili, Keili, Lama Azaftani. We said over from the Arizal, the Shem that it comes out of Yud Vav Hach. Yud is 10, Vav is 6, Hey is 5, is 21, and a Chof is 41, Begematria Keili. When Esther came the first day, Pesach, that's the time when a Yid is kind of the Eibishter, and he says, Keili, Keili. One Keili from the dam of Pesach, one Keili from the dam of Mila. The two Koichos that are lying in Yom HaPesach, Keili, Keili. Maybe we should repeat something, I don't know if I said it here or not, but Al Koponim will repeat a davar neira that a Yid told me, I don't know the Mekar of it, but Sedvarim Neiraim Ad Miyot. Steht in Mishnah Berurah in Simen Aleph. It says in Mekar is a chinuch. There are sheish mitzvahs tmidiyos that are the Yisaid is to bring a person to Shivisi Hashem lenegdi summit. The sheish mitzvahs are Anoichi lo yelecha yichud Hashem, Avas Hashem lo sesuru and yiras Hashem. Keili Keili Aleph Anoichi Lamed lo yeh Yud yichud. Keili Avas Hashem lo sesuru yiras Hashem. Keili, Keili, the koyach of a Yid's Ava and Yira, the koyach of a Yid's Amuna and the Eibishter, that's what the koyach of a Yid. Ma Hashem Elekecha shoyel mi'imach. The Eibishter asks you, Ma Hashem Elekecha. What is this Hashem Elekecha? That's what he's shoyel mi'imach. You know what the answer is? How you become Hashem Elekecha. Kiyim le'yira, with Yira, la'ava. With that you become Hashem Elekecha. With the Ava and Yira, with the Amunah, that's what you become Hashem Elekecha. And that's the tachlis of Leila Seder, to bring a person to his Amunah, to bring a person to his Avas and Yiras Hashem. That's the Nekudas or Aveda that there is in Leila Seder. It says from Heiligen Radzemina that he writes that the Rebbe Rabbunim of Peshischa said, who wrote the Haggadah? Eliyahu Hanavi wrote the Haggadah. Pele Ploim. Eliyahu Hanavi, if you regularly says in the Lashon of the Haggadah, you realize that the Haggadah was written by Eliyahu Hanavi. As I state in Haggadah Tzemach Menachem, that he brings it in the name of the Rebbe Rabbunim of Peshischa. Dvarim Neiraim. We have an Haggadah that just like we know that on Sukkot there's an Indian of a Spiesen. If somebody will want to ask a Narish Shaila, who is the Spiesen, who is the guest by Leila Seder? The guest by Leila Seder is Eliyahu Hanavi. In every house, there's an Eliyahu Hanavi is his guest. We all know we make a Kaishal Eliyahu. We all know that Eliyahu Hanavi plays a neurotic role in the Avodah of Leila Seder. Maybe we can try and talk a little bit in Nekuda, which is by me, and Nekuda on the floor, in looking right at the Avodah Seder. In the beginning of the Seder, we make Yachatz, and the Minig Yisrael brought already in Torah, Machlokes, the Torah Paskins Azay, that we take the middle matzah, and we split the middle matzah in two. The bigger half we put away for Afikoimon, the smaller half we leave between the matzahs. The Heilige Svasemes explains the Pu'ula of Afikoimon, that it goes on the Geula Asida. The bigger half is put away for later, put away for the Geula Asida, meaning that the Geula is split. We started in Mitzrayim, and and then there's the Geula Asida, that's the end of all the Galison. That means V'gam l'Rabbi Shar Malchios, as it says in Chazal, and the Geula Asida is Kimetzescha Mitzrayim Erenu Neflois. That's the godless of the Geula Asida. So that's the second half of Afikomen. Why do we take the middle matzah? Dvarim Pshutim, the three matzahs are Avrohom, Yitzchak, and Yankiv. The Gemara says in Masechta Shabbos Peites Amid Beis that who is going to be the one who is going to be mamlitz, that we should be Zoicha to the Geula, Daika Yitzchak. So we take Yitzchak's matzah and we bring that Yitzchak is the koyach of the Geula Asida. That's where the koyach of Geula is. There is much more than just saying that Yitzchak is the middle matzah, and that has to do with Afikomen. The matzahs themselves have a murdik kesher to Yitzchak. In the Torah Haggadah, the matzahs are called Lechem Oini. Lechem Oini is begematria Yitzchak. It can't be bechinam that the gematria of Lechem Oini is Yitzchak. The teretz is Yitzchak refers to the avodah of Yira. Yitzchak refers to the avodah of Yiras Shamayim. Matzahs are the keli for Yiras Shamayim. Matzahs are the keli for Yiras Shamayim. It says in the Haggadah, Matzazu shano oichlem al shomah al shom shalehispik b'tzekom shal v'seinu lahachmitz ad shenigla aleim melech malchei hamalachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Matzah embodies in itself Gilui Ashchena. Matzah embodies himself. That Gilui Ashchena that was in Mitzrayim lies in the mitzvah of Matzah. Ubemoira Godel zu Gilui Shchena. Where there's Gilui Shchena, there's Moira Godel, there's Yiras Shamayim. Matzah brings Yiras Shamayim. Matzah in itself is the Nekuda of Yitzchak. But it's more than that. Matzah is also the Nekuda of Busha. Yira and Busha go together. Rab Tzadik HaKoyin points out, the Gemara says in Mesechtes Yevomis, Gimel Simonim in Eyid, Rachmonim Baishonim Goim Lech Chasadim. Rab Tzadik HaKoyin in Yisrael Kedoshim writes that these three midos come from the three Avos. Gemilas Chasadim from Avrohom, Busha from Yitzchak, and Rachmanis from Yaakov. We are not going to go into the three, except what he says by Shonim is Yitzchak. Based on the Gemara, Bavur Tia Yirase Apneichem Levilti Sechto Zu HaBusha. So you see that Yira and Busha go together. The Tkunei Zohar says, Bereishis Yarei Shabbos Yarei Boishes. Bereishis is Yarei Boishes. Yira and Busha go together. Anova, Yira and Busha are the three midos. All these three midos are connected one to another. Busha and Anova are one midah, and Ekev Anova Yiras Hashem. Yira, it says in the first Ramah and Shulchan Aruch that a person that knows Shivisi Hashem Lenegdi Samet, which means brings a person to Yira, brings a person also to Busha. But the first Ramah and Shulchan Aruch says something else also. V'lo yevash mipnei amaligim olav. I think the Ramah is referring to an Eredik Nekuda. A person with Busha is in danger. You know why he's in danger? Because his Busha could go for a Busha that's not good. His Busha could bring that it should be Yevash min amaligim olav. So the Ramah tells you, even if you remember the Eibishter is around you, and you're coming with a Busha, but you should have in yourself Tkifas Adas. Don't forget that lo Yevash min amaligim olav. In Heilige Chassam Sofer writes in the Drashais, on a pasuk in this coming week Seder, It says, Eitz Erez, Ushni Toilas Ve'ezov. An obvious question that the Sasemes says the question openly. Why an Eitz Erez? Why do you need an Erez in the Kapara? He was Ikbiya Atzmai Ke'erez. You don't need it in the Kapara. The Kapara is the Shni Toilas and the Ezov. I'm not going to go into what the Sasemes answers, but in a piece of Chsam Sofer in the Drashos, State Adava Neira Ad Miyoid. Before you get a Nova, before you get Shni Toilas and Ezov, you have to remember that Al Yevash Min Amaligim Alav, and you have to have an Eres to yourself. If you're not going to have an Eres to yourself, you're only going to have Shni Toilas and Ezov. That Hanova is going to bring you to the Busha, and that Busha will bring you that you'll be afraid of all the peer pressure around you, and you won't be able to stand up for your ideals. That's why you need an Eitz Erez to be able to overcome the Al Yevash Min Amaligim Olav. And so steht in the Heilige Chsam Sofer. Matzah is Busha. Matzah is Busha. But the Busha comes together with Kifus Hadas. You can't have Matzah and the Busha should be in the wrong place. What is the siman of Chametz? The siman is the Chametz is Chsifu Panov. Chsifu Panov is Busha, but that's the wrong Busha. The Matzah and Chametz are very close one to another. Everybody knows the word that a Hey and a Ches are very close one to another. It's easy to make a mistake between the two, because both of them have the same Nakuda. There's Busha that's Matzah, and there's Busha that's Chametz. And you can mix them up very easily. You can mix up the two Bushas. You can make a Busha that's Chametz, and that's Ichsifu Panov. The Busha of Matzah, which comes from Yerushalayim, that comes together with Kifis Hadas of a Eretz, which is Begematria Yitzchak Agav, and it comes with the Kifis Hadas of being Goiver on the Al Yevash Min Amaligim, not to be Al Yevash Min Amaligim Olav. I'll call upon him. The Matzah is Yitzchak. The Matzah is Yitzchak, and Yitzchak and an Eliyahu go together. Chazal tell us Pinchas ze Eliyahu, and in Zohar HaKadosh it says Raza of Pinchas is Yitzchak, and Yitzchak is Begematria Pinchas with a Yud, as it says in Zohar HaKadosh. What does this all mean? It means coming back to the Nakuda that Leila Seder has a Nakuda of Mesiras Nefesh in it. It has a Nakuda of Bittul and Mesiras Nefesh of a person of being Koina, the Midah of Dam, to be Mesiras Nefesh himself for the Eibishter. Who is the Koyach of Mesiras Nefesh in Klal Yisrael? Yitzchak at the Akedah is the Koyach of Mesiras Nefesh in Klal Yisrael. And from there, Pinchas took the Koyach of Mesiras Nefesh to go and do a Maisa of Mesiras Nefesh. Ilu hafach zimni v'harag lePinchas. The Gemara says he would have been right, and Pinchas was Mesiras Nefesh himself for Kedushas Yisrael. And then comes Eliyahu Hanavi, is the Gemara Koyach of Mesiras Nefesh. That's the Koychos of the Seder, are Yitzchak, Pinchas, Eliyahu. Yitzchak and Eliyahu go together, as we just mentioned, and that is the Koyach of the Seder. Eliyahu Malach HaBris. Eliyahu is the Malach HaBris, is the Ashpiza of the Seder, because Avodas HaSeder is Kedusha Alpi Dam. Dam of Bris, Dam of Pesach, the Haggadah of a Yid to jump Leila Seder and to make an ultimate change, an ultimate Mapecha, to be able to make that Neiridika Mapecha that a person could make in the Koyach of Leila Seder. It's a Dava Pashut. It's a Dava Pashut that's the Koyach of Leila Seder. We'll end with a word that's printed, but I will just mention it because I think that it'll give the shkimar of how much avodah we have to do for Leila Seder. Rabbi Greditze said in a drasha Shabbos Haggadah printed in Moriah years ago. They printed a drasha the Shabbos Haggadah from Rabbi Greditze, who is known as the Greditze Tzaddik. Dvarim Neiram Ad Miyoid. Just 1 point. Then the whole Nakuda is not for now. A Nakuda Nifla Ad Miyoid. The night of Pesach, Esther and Mordechai made a gezerah that 3 days they should fast and should go by Leila Seder B'tainis. Rebbeinu Dal Makula, he asks, the gezerah was an Adar. Why did they have to be mevatel Leila Seder? They could have waited to Tishrei. There's no better time than a Shoshana Yom Kippur. Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Aseres Yemei Tshuva, make a big kindness. 7 days. Most people fasted on all Aseres Yemei Tshuva. You want Laila V'Yom, make 3 days. Seder Yom Kippur, Seder Rosh Hashanah. What's happens Leila Seder? Elamai, the achlata from this kasha is, there is no better time for tefillah. There's no better time for turning over a gzeira. There's no better time to make a mapecha than Leila Seder. And Mordechai has to know that the only way to make a mapecha in Klal Yisrael and make a mapecha in Shamayim to turn over a gzeira is to use the neuridike oir of Leila Seder. That's the avodah of a yid. When we hear these avodos, when we hear these diburim, we realize that if one wants to be able to change himself with mesiras nefesh, to take the koyach of Leila Seder, to make a emestike zuz, to make an emestike move, and to be able to be zoicha, to be able to make a change in his life, that is the night to do it, because we have the koyach of the dam to make b'damaye chayi, to be zoicha to emestike chayim, and to make an emestike mapecha in one's life.